talk to my Wholesome roots. Well, so far Fancy still hasn't had her baby. And today is my birthday. So I'm super excited and happy about that. And Ryan says that Fancy's gonna give birth today because it's my birthday and she was waiting till today. So we'll see. I'm starting to wonder if she's gonna go another 2 weeks. Honestly, y'all, the latest she could possibly go, in all reality, is April 27th. Now, that's how long the buck was here. So April 27th is the last day that she could possibly go into labor. So, but what happens is when a buck and rut arrives at a farm or is put in with the does, whichever, it usually triggers the does to come into heat. For instance, Willow wasn't scheduled to cycle on her heat cycle for another week, but as you see, she already had her baby, so her heat cycle was triggered to start over at a different time than normal because of the buck and rut. It's, you know, the hormonal changes that happen when they are around another animal that's ready to breed. They become ready to breed. So in all likeliness, Fancy would have come into heat as well. So she should have kind of been right at the same time as the other two. Fancy ain't normal. So something I'm trying to keep in mind is to not rush things and to let nature take its course. And I'm really considering putting her out on the pasture today, and maybe that extra exercise will help her move along or get the babies lined up correctly, or whatever needs to happen. But in the same breath, I don't want her going into labor out there in the big open area with all the other goats around. So I don't know. Plus I want to go somewhere today during the day, and I don't want to leave her out there while I'm gone, so there's no point in putting her out if I'm not going to leave her out there, because it's really hard to get her to come back if there's not food involved. She's a bit of a stubborn goat when it comes to leading. She doesn't lead well at all, never has. She will drop down on her knees. Even before she was pregnant, she will drop down on her knees if you try to lead her somewhere. So I don't want to stress her like that. And then tonight we have special birthday plans with our friends, so I know I'm going to be gone then. And so that's probably when she'll go into labor. We'll see. Still the same. Just eating a bunch of food and up and down, up and down. Not much has changed. Her ligaments are soft, as they have been all week. So I can put my fingers together behind her tailbone. That's a real, see, I can touch my fingertips together. That's a real sure sign that the ligaments have softened. But the ligaments are right here. I can still kind of feel them, but they're way lower and softer than they were before all of this started. So we'll see. We'll see. She doesn't mind me touching them anymore. That's interesting. It's almost like it feels good to her, like it's a massage. I actually was massaging her last night. I was giving her a spinal massage and just rubbing all in a motion towards her back end to encourage the movement and the flow of energy so that it will flow. And I also want to make sure that the babies are lined up properly in the birth canal so that everything comes out correctly. But she's big and round. She's got the hollow on the sides, like the babies have dropped. She's just not in labor, or not true hard labor anyway. Some women do this, so it's not surprising that some goats do it. In fact, when I talked to Dave yesterday, he said that her sister Reba spent quite a few days acting quite similar. So, yep, your sister had babies already. Yep. It's your turn now. Okay, sweet girl, you can go now. You can have your babies now. Alright, I better hurry up and get back up to the house because Ryan is making me breakfast. I love Ryan's birthday breakfast meals for me. It's the best. I'm having French toast and bacon. Yum. And then I need to get started on my day and send him down here to do the milking and feeding and get a little break from that.
Hey everybody, welcome to Wholesome Roots. Today is a special day. It is Rose's birthday. And so, because it's her birthday, Mother Nature decided to provide the greatest gift today. Well, I guess that's a matter of opinion of greatest gift, but a gift nonetheless. Our oyster mushrooms that periodically flush on the top of this tree in our yard has decided that today is the perfect day to harvest them, and I just thought it would make a great birthday vlog for Rose. So I've made it to the top of the tree. Now let's check out these oyster mushrooms. We are very fortunate to have such a nice flush of oyster mushrooms at the top of this old tree. They appear to be in pretty good condition. Just about all of the wild mushrooms that I've ever harvested have always had some level of insect life on them, whether it be the very young stages that look like little maggots or worms, and sometimes beetles, and in this case there are some ants hanging out, and that's fine, that's to be expected. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut these off of the tree. I don't want to yank them off of the tree. I want to leave the mycelium intact. So if I just cut this part off, which is the fruit, if you just cut the fruit off at the base with a knife, you're leaving the mycelium intact inside the tree. And so that means later on you'll have another flush of mushrooms. So not every flush of oyster mushrooms is at the top of a tree, and we just happened to have our eyes open and we noticed it. Now we keep our eyes on it every time it rains, hoping that this will happen, which it did, and we're very lucky. So let's harvest some mushrooms. I'm just going to carefully cut. I'm not going to worry about bugs. They'll be on it for sure. Just cut it off in little chunks at a time. Hi, ants. And I brought a grocery bag with me just so I could get them off the tree and get them down off the ladder a little bit easier. And we'll just set that to the side over here and continue. All right, and you see that I've left the base of the mushroom still inside of the tree. That's why you don't want to yank it off. All right. Once again. I'll just take that grocery bag with me on the way down. So here's a better view of what we've left behind on the tree. You see, that's the base of the fruit. Underneath that, inside of the wood of this tree, is the mycelium. So that's the actual organism that's eating this tree on the inside. And when it finds enough nutrients, it flowers, which it makes the fruit, or fruits. Maybe that's what they call it. It fruits. And so what you see and what you eat, that's the fruit of the mushroom. That's the edible part. But we left the mycelium inside, so we'll have future flushes of mushrooms. All right, so up here at the tip top of the tree, just thought I'd check this out. Looks like a woodpecker or something. It's been making a little hole in here. And there's several, actually. I wonder what other kind of creatures are inside of here. Anybody home? Nope. No answer. Okay, sure, why not? While we're up here, here's a unique view of Wholesome roots. We got the nice pasture that's just about ready to bring the goats out for grazing. Our chickens are working on the garden down there. And there's our barn. I'm sure you've seen all these things before. This is just another vantage point. All right, so we're finished harvesting the mushrooms at the top of this tree. You know, for a dead looking tree, there's actually quite a bit of life up here, which I think that's really neat. When you get close up, you can see that there are a lot of living creatures up here still. So even though this part of the tree is gone, it's providing homes and food for a lot of different types of creatures. Now, always remember to properly identify all wild mushrooms before consuming, and also to thoroughly cook all wild mushrooms before consuming. You just want to be safe. Oyster mushrooms are rather easy to identify, but there are others that have poisonous lookalikes, so you want to be careful. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you've learned something from it about oyster mushrooms, and you guys have a great day. Thank you. Okay, so now that I'm down from the top of the tree, have a better chance to examine the mushrooms, and you can see that some of them are past their peak. We probably should have got up there maybe yesterday or the day before. These over here, they're past their point of edibility for us. So what we're gonna do with them, we'll use them to propagate and encourage oyster mushrooms to grow maybe on some logs that aren't 15 feet up in the air. Now, it wasn't totally bad. These mushrooms over here are actually at a very good point, and we will definitely eat these.
I was just down here at the barn checking on Fancy, and the boys were following me, and then I turned around and said, "Where are you boys?" Liam went over to the chicken food, took the lid off, and started feeding the chickens. Completely of his own accord. My little farmer boy. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen? I am so proud of him. He loves his chickens. He loves his farm work. All right, so We went out for a little while, did a little bit of shopping. I got my new dress. You like it? It's cute, right? Goes good with my new leggings I got the other day. Very cute. Anyway, so we have to head over to my friend's house for dinner here in a minute. So we're doing a last check on the goats and the chickens and stuff and making sure everybody's fed and watered. And I was just gonna give Fluff another little bottle, sippy sip. Turn that charger off. And Fancy is acting a little whatever. She's I tried to see if I could just let her hang out in the barn and chill and stuff, and she does have goo dripping. TMI for some people, but I know some of you want to hear more details. So I will just say that. So that is a good sign. I just hope that if she does have the babies while I'm gone, that there's no complications and everything is perfectly fine. We come back to healthy babies. And I just hope that, I would really like to see it. I don't want to miss it. So I am kind of hoping that it is when I'm here, but in the same breath, I'm ready to get this over with. I know she is too. I've been there, done that. Is that all you want, Fluff? Here. You want more? No? You sure? Alright. So we're gonna finish up taking care of all the animals and making sure that they are happy and healthy. And then we are gonna go celebrate my birthday with amazing Thai food that my best friend Martha is making for us. I can't wait. And I have somebody making me a creme brulee cheesecake. Cheesecake is my favorite thing in the whole world, and creme brulee is probably my second favorite thing in the whole world.